Just what is the number of women in business in Africa? How much are their businesses really worth? How many people do they support? Many questions with no answers because, in reality, no one really knows. This apparent lack of clarity on the status of such businesses is just one of the myriad challenges facing women in business in Africa. This is one of the reasons behind the creation of the Kenya Association of Women Business Owners. While there are not that many or even actionable statistics on women in business and enterprise on the African continent, what is clear from the outset is the fact that these individuals and their businesses require a lot of affirmative action and support from the outset. The grouping of women business owners is now lobbying the Kenyan government to live up to its promise to reserve up to 30% of government procurement for women and other marginalized groups. The reserved contracts are estimated to be worth over 200 billion Kenya shillings, or about $2.4 billion annually. According to the organization, supporting women-owned businesses usually has a positive impact on the rest of society and the general economy.
For us to even realize the MDGs that have continued to be a challenge, for us to realize Kenya's Vision 2030, for us to be a significant player within the East African community, you cannot disenfranchise a constituency called women. They must become actively engaged in society, in their national economies, so that we can raise better families, stronger communities, stronger societies.
Global investors already find Africa a hard place to do business. Red tape, the high cost of power, and the quick infrastructure are some of the often quoted challenges. These challenges increase exponentially if you happen to be a woman. In some countries, this has meant that governments have introduced affirmative action for women to level the playing field and encourage greater participation by them in government procurement. In Kenya, the creation of a Gender and Equality Commission over the past decade has somewhat helped the situation.
I believe in this country, when we're talking about equality, we have women who can do big businesses. And we want them to be allowed to equally compete with the men at that level.
Stakeholders, though, admit that the limited success that affirmative action for women-owned businesses has had has been due to the differing interpretation of the law pertaining to inclusion and how this has been implemented. One such example, the fact that the Kenyan Treasury has limited the size of businesses that can benefit.
At National Treasury, what they have interpreted this provision to apply to is only those women, youth, and persons with disability-owned businesses that have less than 10 million in annual turnover a year.
Businesswomen hope that with a review in current regulations, they may be able to pursue large government contracts and thus have a greater impact on the Kenyan society. Wakaba, CCTV.